Is the
In the 2 minutes, I will send you the WhatsApp.
we are live.
Namaskar and good evening to one and all present here in this valedictory function, the National Client Counseling on the virtual mode.
Good evening.
With us, we have today the chief guest for the valedictory function, Ms. Uttara Babbar, Senior Counsel, Supreme Court of India, Dr. Payal Mehta, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, GLS University, Mr. Darshan Pandya, a Coordinator of Legal Aid Clinic, Faculty of Law, GLS University, participants, dear students, faculties, and all the viewers. I would like to invite Dr. Payal Mehta, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, GLS University, for the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sonal Bell. Well, good afternoon to all the viewers of National Virtual Client Counseling Competition 23-24. It is an immense pleasure to welcome the chief guest of this event, valedictory function of National Virtual Client Counseling Competition, Uttara Babbar ma'am, who is the Senior Counsel at Supreme Court of India. Ma'am, we are thankful to you that you have given your kind consent and you have given your time for this big event that has been conducted under the umbrella of LAC, that is Legal Aid Clinic with Faculty of Law, GLS University. It is a pleasure that many students across the nation, they participated in this competition and they gave their best. Obviously it is a very important competition for budding lawyers, as they have to develop their convincing skills when it comes to client counseling competition. It has been said on a lighter note, it is said that a successful lawyer is that who can convince a person that he has to go to the desert for sailing the ship. That should be the convincing power of a good advocate. So, with that, we have a successful conclusion of this competition. There were preliminary round, quarter-final round, semi-final round, and finally final round of the competition. And thoroughly, all the students have participated into it. It is an immense pleasure once again, ma'am, to welcome you on the e-platform of Faculty of Law, GLS University. We are so glad to have you as the chief guest of the event. We welcome all the viewers, all the participants who have given their sweat and blood for preparing for this participation, for this competition. Thank you so much to all the participants, all the viewers, budding lawyers, and different people from law fraternity who are observing, who are watching us, and all the judges who have come across for judging this event. And with that welcome note, I would like to rest my speech over here. Over to you, Sonal ma'am. Thank you once again, Uttara ma'am. Welcome to the e-platform of Faculty of Law, GLS University.
Thank you, Payal ma'am. Rightly said, yes, it really was a very interesting competition. And for that, now I request Mr. Darshan Pandya, Coordinator of Legal Aid Clinic, Faculty of Law, GLS University, to give an overview of the virtual National Client Counseling competition.
Namaskar and thank you so much, Sonal ma'am. I welcome you, Uttara Babbar ma'am, the Senior Counsel, Supreme Court of India. The Client Counseling Competition is a flagship event under the banner of Faculty of Law, GLS University, that we organized by the Legal Aid Clinic. Each year we organize the National Client Counseling, this time on the virtual mode. But I have to say one thing, that on 24th of January, we declare and announce the client counseling competition. But within 4 days, we have received an overwhelming response from the participants There were 32 teams who registered for the preliminary round within a 4 days. So within a 4 days, we got a good number of registration. And then the preliminary round was based on the pre-recorded videos, that 10 minutes videos that they have to send, and on the basis of the videos they selected for the quarter final round, man. For the preliminary round, the actually the the role of the judge played by the judges of the High Court, who have a more than 10 years experience in the field of law. And then the quarter final, semi-final and final round that held today itself, after the inaugural ceremony was over, the top 8 teams selected for the quarter final round, then top 4 teams selected for the semi-final round. The semi-final round and quarter-final round judged by the advocates who have more than 15 years and 20 years practice. And recently, we just conclude our final round before we start the valedictory function. The top 2 teams, for final round, and now only one is a winner, second is a runner-up. But I must have to say, as a coordinator of legal aid clinic, that each team played a very vital role, and actually they are very good in a client counseling competition. They are good prepared. Everything, I think, across the India, out of 12 states, they participate in this event. So actually, a good and very tough competitions between all the participants. So that's it for the client counseling competitions. Over to you, Sonal.
Thank you, sir, for the crisp overview of the event. I now request our faculty member, Yashasvi Soni, to give a brief introduction of our today's guest, Ms. Uttara Babbar. Over to you, Yashasvi, please.
Good afternoon, everyone present here. It is my privilege to introduce Ms. Uttara Babbar, Senior Counsel, Supreme Court of India. Ma'am is an alumnus of NLSIU Bangalore and School of Law, Columbia University. Ma'am is enrolled as an advocate with the Indian Bar since August 2002. Ma'am stood second in the AOR exam conducted by the Supreme Court of India in the year 2008. Ma'am has appeared before the Supreme Court of India and various high courts of India in matters related to constitutional law, service law, property law, environmental laws, arbitration, and many more. Ma'am has also been associated with many reputed law firms in India and abroad, like Uttara and Associates, Holland and Knight LLP, the US. Ma'am has been empaneled as an amicus curiae with the Supreme Court since 2014. Ma'am is currently providing her services as the standing counsel for the high courts for the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Uttara Babbar.
Thank you
I
for
now
that.
request, yeah,
Yes.
welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
I now request Ms. Uttara Babbar, our chief guest for the valedictory function, to kindly share her views.
Thank
Over to
you for
you,
the
ma'am.
very, very warm welcome and for this invitation. Thank you to the GLS Faculty of Law, to Dean Dr. Mayuri Pandya, Sonal ma'am, Payal Mehta, and also Ms. Darshan Bhai for this giving me the privilege of addressing all of you on this occasion. I will, of course, be speaking with my perspective of a litigating lawyer. I don't have any experience in the corporate field. So I will be giving a few of the tidbits of tips that I have picked up along the way in my journey as a litigating lawyer. And since I'm a first generation lawyer, a lot of my learning has been by trial and error. I haven't had people to guide me. So these are really tips that have come through a lot of hard work. So, first of all, I think client counseling is an extremely underrated aspect of our profession. Law school teaches you how to study the law, how to apply it in the facts of the case. But what will you do if you have no case, no client? And I think one of the biggest challenges in our profession is how to retain your existing clients and how to expand your clientele. And therefore, client counseling is a skill that could virtually break or make your career. So I think that this is an extremely important skill in our profession. Needless to say, it requires you to be a very good listener and pick up verbal as well as non-verbal communication from each other. And it also has various styles. You could have a very lawyer dominated process where the lawyer is the one who's controlling the conversation, or you could have a client oriented process where it's the client who is leading the way, or which I feel is more practical, is having something like a mixed approach, where initially you let the client open up a little bit and open his story and tell you what exactly is the problem, and then gradually the lawyer directs the conversation towards the exact and the actual issue in question. So whatever style you pick up, ultimately the question is, how well are you able to communicate and get crystallize what are the issues that are troubling the client. I also see client counseling as an immense opportunity, an opportunity to win each other's confidence. The client is trying to assess, whether he can actually trust you with his troubles, and of course you are also assessing the client and seeing whether you can meet and service his requirements at the same time, and how you can take it forward. So this is a process where you're both trying to win each other's confidence, and it's an immense opportunity for you to be able to retain the client. And if the quality of your counseling is good, then you are in for a long term relationship. And if your counseling is good, this client will refer other clients to you, and really that's how your business will grow. So this is actually pivotal to your success in the profession. Very often a client will come in and ask you, what is going to happen, what do you think is going to happen in my case? As litigating lawyers, we often get clients that say, will I win this, will I lose this? So I worked with a senior of mine, and every time he was asked this question, he would have a hearty laugh, and he would say that, see, I am a lawyer, I am not an astrologer, I can't tell you what's going to happen, I can't foresee the future. And that is something that I carry with me even today, because that is a very wise statement. We can't predict what's going to happen. Some lawyers are extremely flamboyant and guarantee very optimistic results. And in my experience, something like that doesn't always work in the long run. So you say, you're going to succeed 100%, but, actually you achieve only around maybe 25-30%. And then there's a huge gap in what the client expects and what is the actual outcome. And in the long run, I think this undermines your credibility in at least two ways. One, it probably shows that you haven't been competent enough, because otherwise you would have achieved 100% success rate. And secondly, it also undermines your credibility because it gives the impression that you really have no idea what you're talking about. So while initially, a lot of lawyers want to ensure they retain the client and guarantee very fantastic results, I feel in the long run, it is probably more wise to be realistic, to be good, and to be careful with your assessment, because eventually clients are going to gauge you by your competence, by how accurately you have been able to prepare them for the expected outcomes of their cases. The other word of advice, and something that I have learned along my journey, is to always be prepared. Whatever, whatever is your clients, if you've received the papers in advance, study them carefully, do a little research, know what the law is, know what the facts are, so that you can figure out what is the actual dispute and how will the law fit in, where does your client stand. This shows that you have respect for the client. And ultimately, the client will have much more confidence in you if you are prepared and you know what is happening. You will also be able to give much better, nuanced advice instead of a very generic advice, because if you haven't studied the matter well and you don't know what is going on, your advice will tend to be general. If you're prepared, your advice will be more nuanced. And today we can get generic advice on Google, so we don't want to come across as being somebody who's just giving a very general piece of advice. But at the same time, if there's a question and you put to you and you do not know the answer to that question, then please do not lie. Don't make things up. Just be honest and say that you will check and revert. Because in the long run, that's what matters. You come across as being solid, reliable, not someone who misleads your client. Because today, this is in the context of a client counseling competition where you have one incident, you have one sitting with your client. But in life, the client counseling is an ongoing process. It goes over days, weeks, months, sometimes even years. And it's not something that gets over in an instant. It's a long-term contribution and a long-term dialogue that goes on. Just a couple of quick points. In family and matrimonial issues, or in sometimes even in commercial issues, if there is a possibility of a settlement, try to see if there's something you can do about it, because that really works out as a win-win situation. And lastly, I would say try to draw clear boundaries. Sometimes in matrimonial matters, family matters, or sometimes when the clients are very over enthusiastic and over involved, it gets difficult to draw boundaries. They overstep into your space, and they want you to advise them in a specific way. So take your distance from the situation and draw the boundaries. Be very clear about the fees. Don't mislead the clients. Don't try to ensnare the clients. Be honest, be upfront, so that clients can make an informed choice. Because very often this is going to cause some amount of a financial hardship, or at least a financial investment. The client needs to know where he stands right in the beginning, so that he or she is prepared and can make an informed choice. I know you all are excitedly waiting for the results, so I don't want to take too much time. I'll just sum up what have been the main points of my journey as far as client counseling is concerned. Number one, please see client counseling as an opportunity that for many lawyers, especially first generation lawyers, can actually be something which is extremely important for your career, and it can actually make or break your career. If you are good at this, you are going to have rock solid clientele with you. But if you're not able to, or if you're either misleading or not communicative enough with your clients, it could really cost you heavily in our profession. Then always have a good, realistic assessment of expected outcomes after studying the matter. Always be prepared. Explore the option of a settlement. And lastly, do not mislead. It just does not work in the long run, because trust is the bedrock of all relationships, including that between a lawyer and his client. So with that, I wish you all the very best. May you all have many, many, many clients to counsel in your future law careers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful and motivational words, and also for your blessings and good wishes to the participants. Now, as we are about to draw the curtain on the enthralling competition, it's heartening to reflect on the intellectual vigor and favor that have filled this room. And now we come to the most awaited moment of event, that is announcement of the results. Ma'am, over to you. You can please announce the results.
So I have just received the results. I'm sure you're all excitedly waiting for it. Should I pronounce the first runners-up first or the winners first? I think the runners-up would be first.
Yes. Yes.
So the first runners-up is team number 10, Spurti Athreya and Diya Panchori from NMIMS. The winners are team number 8, Ayushi and Soumya Mishra, Hidayatullah National Law University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Congratulations. And the best advocate is from team number 23, Counsel 1, Yukta N. Kumarkar from Balaji Law College, Pune, Maharashtra. Many congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you, ma'am, for the announcing the results. With this, let's applaud not just for the winners, but also for all the participants for their hard work and all those who have ignited a spark on meticulous curiosity and will continue to illuminate the path ahead. As we come towards the end of the competition, I request Dr. Vinod Das, co-coordinator of our Legal Aid Clinic, Faculty of Law, GLS University, for the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sonal Madam. Way back in 1623, William Shakespeare had written a play, All is Well That Ends Well. Shakespeare's play proved right in our program. Our program ended well. So for this, we are obliged to many people. At the outset, we are grateful to the chief guest of the function, Uttara Madam, who agreed to join us despite her busy schedule. She agreed to join us in a short notice. Madam, you rightly said that the client counseling is a neglected aspect in legal education. And client counseling is a tough job. As you have come from the you are first generation lawyer. Many students in our department, they are not coming from the lawyer's background. So they have a lot of worries and anxieties. So your guidance will definitely help them to make a successful career. Thank you, madam. Next, we are grateful to the judge of the final round, Hriday Buch sir, who has agreed to take the pain of judging our event, appreciating our participants. He was saying competition was very close, so that it is very difficult to give the competitive marks. Was very difficult for him. Although he was busy, he agreed to come here and join us. While on participants, we are pleased by the participants' performance. So many people participated in the program with a lot of self-motivation. For us, every participant was a winner with prizes or without prizes. Special thanks to the winning team. It is really heartening to know that passionate counseling by the budding lawyers. We expect similar participation from participants in our future events. For the success of all these events, we are obliged to our Dean Madam, Professor Mayuri Pandya, who guided us in every step from the beginning of the event till the last activity. Thank you, Madam. Regarding LSC team, I have no hesitation to say that the entire program would not have been successful without the support of LSC members. A strong team of 25 members worked day and night to execute the program. Special thanks to the Tirth and Khushbu, the student coordinators of LSC, were extremely glad to see their work and commitment in all these days. Faculty and staff, finally, we are thankful to our entire faculty members and the staff members of the department for their continuous support throughout the program. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Das sir. Okay, now just before we finish, we have just tried to make e-checks for the winners and would like to show on the screen so they can get happy right now. So we'll first show the prize for the runner-up team. Right, TM10. And now for the winners. TM8. Congratulations to the winners and the runner-up teams. And now for the best advocate, TM23. Congratulations to all of you. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you, one and all, everyone, for joining us. And all have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll end the session here.